China's largest trade show, the Spring Canton Fair, ended in Guangzhou on May 5, 2023. How did it do? After the show ended on May 6th, a statement was made saying that only 25.1 billion US dollars in deals were made at this year's Canton Fair, far below the peak of 38 billion US dollars in 2008, or 30 billion US dollars in 2019 before the pandemic. According to Chinese media reports, Canton Fair organizers said that offline export deals signed at the fair amounted to 21.69 billion US dollars, down nearly a third from 29.73 billion US dollars signed at the 2019 Spring Canton Fair. Some exhibitors complained that they paid higher booth fees but saw fewer European buyers and almost no new American customers. There were, however, more buyers from Latin America, Africa, Southeast Asia, and Russia, but they tended to offer less profits. A well-known Weibo financial blogger posted on May 5th saying that the overall effect was much worse than in 2019, with more than 70% fewer people from Europe and the United States and a higher proportion from Asia, Africa, and Latin America. But their transactions were of small volumes and low prices. They couldn't afford the products of European and American styles either. After meeting exhibitors from all walks of the industry, 80% of them felt that this year was not satisfactory. The communist authorities are anxious to revive the economy after ending a 3-year epidemic control, so they actively put on various expos in the spring and summer of 2023. But so far, the results have been disappointing for many vendors. Look, this was a home furnishing expo held in Xiamen, a coastal city in China, on April 17, 2023. Money back, money back, money back. The Expo Organization Committee said that this year's show was hosted by Double Win Holdings Group Limited, with an exhibition area of over 160,000 square meters, 8,000 booths, an estimated 3,000 exhibitors, and more than 130,000 visitors expected on site. And this expo is considered the barometer of the Chinese home appliance and department store industry. It is the largest trade show of its kind in the first half of 2023 and highly influential. One unit of a booth is 8,000 yuan or 1,150 US dollars. The organizer advertised that the expo would invite web stars of e-commerce to live stream and promote the event. Multiple merchandising channels were offered to help vendors in making sales and closing deals on site. It would also hold heavyweight industry campaigns jointly with relevant authorities, such as the China MCN Agency Industry Development Forum and Annual Award Ceremony, national web stars of e-commerce helping to sell the conference, an online presenter conference, a home department store 2023 industry standard, national recommended products in short video live streaming sessions, etc. It sounded impressive, but the expo was thin on traffic, far below the expectations of the exhibitors. Later, the vendors found out that some of the people who entered the show were hired by the organizer to fill the space. So the merchants marched in protest and demanded a refund. What did they do then? The organizers' response was to bring in a large number of security guards and police officers to maintain stability. Look at these cops. Our live streaming is banned, all banned. This is the Double Win Expo. All the participating exhibitors. Xiamen Double Win Expo. They don't do anything when there are problems. What happened in the Xiamen Expo wasn't the only case, as similar experiences have occurred in other cities in various industries. Here's an expo in an industrial city in northern China. Money back, money back, money back. This many exhibitors, what are you going to do? If you were the supervisor, you tell us what you are going to do. What solutions can you offer? At 10 a.m., there was nobody at the expo. These vendors have been holding back their anger all day. The bright and beautiful exhibition hall looked empty, and there were almost no customers from related industries who did inquiry and negotiation, not to mention signing orders. The photovoltaic industry refers to the use of solar energy through photovoltaic conversion. That is, through the photovoltaic effect, the sunlight on the silicone material can produce electricity directly. The industrial chain formed by the application of silicone materials is called the photovoltaic industry. It includes the production of high-purity polysilicon raw materials, solar cell manufacturing, solar cell module production, and the manufacturing of related production equipment. It's a very specialized industry, but what kind of customers are seen at the expo? This wasn't what vendors expected from the expo at all. After investigation, it turned out that the organizer used loudspeakers in the villages near the city and hired rural senior citizens to make up a crowd for the expo. The vendors demanded their money back and protested as a group. Money back, money back, money back. Similar protests took place in Zhejiang Province, a major manufacturing province in China in the Yangtze River Delta. Money back, money back. Hangzhou Expo is a fraud. Pay back our people's hard-earned money. It is difficult for common people to defend their rights. Common folks are deceived. Refund, refund, refund. Give an explanation to us exhibitors. Money back, money back, money back. The exhibitors' fees range from 7,000 yuan to hundreds of thousands of yuan, depending on the booth location and size. According to the news report, the expo was originally supposed to be held in Hangzhou, Zhejiang Province, last October. But it was delayed due to the outbreak, and the venue was unexpectedly changed to Shaoxing, which is not as known as Hangzhou City. The exhibitors accused the organizer of not doing a good job in promoting the expo. Virtually no one came to the exhibition after it started, except for a group of students brought in by the organizer to fill the space. Many exhibitors demanded a refund, but the organizer refused, which led to the confrontation. On the afternoon of the second day of the exhibition, the exhibitors started to vacate the venue. Drastic reduction in export orders has forced many factories in the Pearl River Delta and Yangtze River Delta to close down or reduce production, leading to an upsurge in unemployment. Recently, several videos are circulating online showing closed-down factories in Jiangsu, Zhejiang, Shanghai, and Guangzhou, and workers failing to find jobs. For example, an odd thing happened in Shanghai this year. That is, a factory was looking to hire 20 workers, but 1,000 people showed up. Shanghai has had some strange things happening this year. Namely, workers who have worked for more than 10 years can't find a job. For example, when a factory was hiring 20 workers, 1,000 people lined up there. Even labor agents are frustrated that the recruitment requirements are getting extremely stringent. Those with colored nails, dyed hair, and tattoos are excluded, as are those with glasses. The age limit is exceptionally strict. People who were born after 1990 can apply. Those who were born before 1989 should basically just go home. No one wants them. Education-wise, it has to be above college. This requirement alone will eliminate a big batch of applicants. Previously, when recruiting migrant workers, all people are accepted, be it middle school students, high school students, or those with no education at all. Now the common requirement is a college degree. Why is this happening? You see, even the period of the 3-year outbreak wasn't this difficult. Last year, the year before last, at least people still had jobs and could provide food on the table. This year, work has been hard to find. Even with supermarkets, an investment of 1 or 2 million, there is no one in the supermarket. It's understandable to have no one in the morning, but there is no one at noon or in the evening. Where are the people? People are reluctant to spend money. They can't find jobs. Many storefronts on the street are being sold or transferred. If you have a mortgage, the pressure is great. Every day, the family is depressed. In short, this year, the job is difficult to find. Earning money is particularly tough. Why is this happening? The Pearl River Delta has a concentration of small and medium-sized enterprises. It's where Dongguan, known as the factory of the world, is located. Now its lights are out, a large number of factories are shutting down, and many are laying off employees. What are the large factories that closed down in Dongguan? First, it was the Nanjia International Stationery Factory in Humen. Then the Aigo Electronics Factory in Hojie closed down, and its chairman jumped off a building. The Kaiwei Garment Factory in Chongping closed down, and the workers collectively demanded wages. Jiacheng Technology and Jiahong Hardware in Xiegang County, Cooper Electronics in Fanggang, formerly a factory of thousands of people making Bluetooth headphones. Chang'an Jincheng Intelligence, an OEM to Apple and Huawei. Yuyuan Shoe Factory in Gaobu, a large factory of tens of thousands of workers. Xinda Toy Factory in Hengli, which made the Olympic mascot before and was NASDAQ listed. Economic depression. Dongguan Libao Handbag Co. Limited closed. Here are a number of factory closures in Shenzhen, and workers went to the rooftop to defend their rights and wages. Look, this is their pile of stock worth millions of dollars. Another foreign trade enterprise here closed down this year. This is upstairs. They rented the second and third floors. The third floor was to put machinery, production equipment, etc. They are dismantling equipment and loading trucks to take them away. They moved in last year in May and June. From last year to this year, less than a year, they stopped. In the beginning, they were very profitable, shipping a container every month. This year, after the Chinese New Year, there was no one working in the factory. The second floor had a stockpile of nearly 1 million yuan, that is, about 150,000 US dollars, which wasn't shipped out. However, the Chinese official announcement presented a different picture. The Chinese government announced the following foreign trade figures for the first quarter. In the first 4 months of 2023, China's imports and exports to countries along the Belt and Road increased 16% on a yearly basis to 4.61 trillion yuan or 590 billion US dollars. Meanwhile, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations continued to be China's largest trading partner, with the trade volume between the two sides reaching 2.09 trillion yuan or 270 billion US dollars, up 13.9% year on year. In addition, China's imports from and exports to the European Union were 1.8 trillion yuan or 230 billion US dollars, up by 4.2% year on year and 2.2 percentage points higher than that in the first quarter. Since the beginning of this year, China's economic development has shown a positive trend of recovery, with the economic performance getting off to a good start. We believe that the data for the first quarter of 2023 is likely to be a continuation of the original orders. We can see that the economic decoupling of the CCP from the West is quietly taking place, even according to the data retouched by Chinese officials. Why is it that in the aftermath of the epidemic, there is a lack of Western faces and customers and a massive loss of orders in all kinds of medium and large trade shows in China? This is because the CCP's 3-year zero-COVID policy has caused a massive outflow of foreign capital, and an increasing number of foreign-invested companies have been pulling out of China, moving their production capacity to other countries. Some Western companies started to place orders with factories in other emerging economies, such as India and Vietnam, instead of China. It has resulted in the loss of business for many domestic small and medium-sized enterprises in the upstream and downstream of the supply chain in China. With no more orders, the number of workers hired has dropped sharply, and a wave of unemployment has swept through the country, leaving China's economy in the worst shape it has been in decades.